The specialist sound of My Soul.
This week's Hot Joints. Hot and fresh music for your mind, body and soul.
That's right, once again, welcome along My Soul Radio. Me, Si Says in the house. It's right about that time when we give you this week's Hot Joints. Some of the tracks that are, you know, hot in the charts, hot in my collection. Just things that I think are hot, basically. Could be unreleased stuff, blah, blah, blah. This one at the moment is underneath us. I'm going to tell you the full title in a minute. Don't forget we're going out on DAB across the world online at mi-soul.com and of course through our app as well. And I'm joined tonight as well by a guest that's going to be involved throughout the show. Good evening to my friend who I've known for a very long time, and I still never know what to call you. When I see you, I feel so bad to even say that, because I just say bro to you all the time, but I can't say...
Can I quickly emphasise on the long time bit? Because you know me a long time, you call me Roach. That's what most people that know me a long time call me Roach.
Yeah. But I know a lot of roaches though, not in a bad way.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say you're not special, but you know.
In the new school, some people call me Kalica.
Well, that's your real name, right? Coming from your heritage, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
Something like that.
Another thing that connects us. So anyway, good evening to you. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Evening.
So we're going to be, we got some, just tell us a little, what are you going to, in a nutshell, what's the pointers that you're bringing this week?
The pointers that I'm bringing, you invited me to the show, didn't you?
Yeah.
And
so what are you going to be giving us?
I'm going to be giving you asked me to take care of, introduce you to the producer, so I'm going to be taking care of that.
Thanks, that's one less thing for me to worry about this week.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to pick a classic track of Such, and you put me on my toes for this one because you didn't tell me, but you asked me to pick something that represents sunshine music for sunshine people, my brand.
Right. Which we're going to talk about.
And that's what I've quickly picked one on my toes, and we're going to do that as well.
All right, and we're going to have a little talk about it because we want not go into it now. I'm going to let the music play, but yeah, the sunshine music for sunshine people that you just touched on, we're going to break that down a little bit and try and give people a picture of what it is and what it's about, because as I'll explain to you later, very important. Right, kicking off now, the first in this week's Hot Joints from a producer that I've always collected this guy's music. Don't play it enough in clubs for some reason. I need to G-check myself. Jihad Mohammed. This guy, seriously, pure energy. Don't forget where you're hearing it. It's My Soul Radio. Sounds of My Soul Radio right about now. Hot Joints. Like I said, you know, tracks that just hot. What do you think of that one, Roach? Any good?
Yeah, it was nice, man.
Do you know Jihad Mohammed?
Yeah, well known to me.
Yeah, have you seen him in London at all? Because, you know, we've been around the block.
Never seen him in my life. No, take it back. I think I might have seen him at Southport Weekend, but I can't quote. Don't quote me on that.
I've seen him at Need to Soul. I know that. I've seen him at possibly with Rap Saunders and that at Soulmates. I'm trying to think of the ones at the top of my head. And I've seen him in another country and I can't think. But he is just a guy that, like I say to you, a lot of DJs, it's hard to create sometimes energy at peak time with very soulful records if you're not. It's not hard. The right people know how to do it at the right time, but it's not easy is what I'm trying to say. And he is a guy that I've looked at before, and he just plays super soulful, not even fast. And a lot of DJs, what they do, they crank up the beat to or the tempo to 125, 126 or even faster because they feel like it needs to be faster to create the energy. But, you know, if you put it together in a certain way.
Yeah, of course.
If you know what you're doing. He's definitely a guy. Check him out. You know, a lot of people, you might not be able to see him live. I don't think he gets brought over to the UK enough. No,
that's the thing with, you know, some of them. To me, not smaller DJs. They're not smaller because he's a well-known producer. But in the stature of a DJ, you wouldn't put him on the highest pedestal that comes over to the UK on a regular basis. So yeah, you're right. Not enough.
100%. Right, moving into this one. This is a remix track called "Let It All Go." That's on Spen's label. Next one that we're going to hear in this week's Hot Joints. Once again, Jihad Mohammed on the buttons.
My Soul.
Si says. Introduce her to the producer.
Yeah, it's that time of the show where we get into the introducer to the producer section, where we put a spotlight on someone. Before we do that, I'd just like to say that last track you heard there was my forthcoming release on, I can't tell you who yet because I don't exactly know. I've got to say I've had a lot of offers for that track, Kalica, from...
You can call me Roach because you're comfortable with Roach.
No, I need to break that Roach thing.
You don't, because nobody else does.
It's like, huh?
Nobody else does. So
and, you know, we've got a lot in common. Not only are we both part Sri Lankan, half Sri Lankan, which bonds us. We're also Tottenham fans. Touch me again.
Common you Spurs.
Yeah, that's right.
Big up Martin
the
Lodge.
number one team in North London. All right. And so yeah, that last one there, Sai Says featuring Cleveland Jones, With You, and that is more than just a release for me at the moment. That song is really special to me because it's talking about spending your whole life with someone, all day, all night with you. Spend my whole life with you, and it doesn't just have to be, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever. It can be you and your son, your daughter, anything like that. It's one of them universal love songs. I've got to big up Cleveland if he's out there listening. And it's crazy again because we created that. We never in the room together once.
Wow.
That was a transatlantic production.
And it came together like that?
Came together like that. I shopped it out. I gave it to just a few people. Literally everybody that heard it wanted to sign it. I've never had more offers on it, which has been a bit overwhelming, and, you know, I've had to take a step back and listen again. And
it can only be a good thing, right?
That's right, definitely. So, yeah, watch out for that coming to you at a label near you very, very soon. Right, moving swiftly into the introducer to the producer. So who have you chosen? Because you haven't told me. I think I know who this is. I'm pretty sure. He
definitely knows who it is. But anyway, I chose... you asked me to take care of introducer to producer, a segment you do all the time on your show. I asked you, should it be new and current? You said it doesn't have to be. So I said, all right, I'm not going to do that.
Sure.
I chose Scott Wozniak just because... I don't think at the time when he was pushing out a lot of music, he was getting as much praise as he was due.
Definitely, yeah.
And also, there was a point in my musical path when I was DJing. I still DJ today, but when I was DJing a lot more radio wise, etc., where I had a lot of Scott Wozniak on heavy rotation.
Okay.
And I have fond memories and connections with a lot of tracks that he produced or remixed.
I don't know what this track is now. I'm thinking of it, hearing it now, and it's with a phenomenal singer. One of my, I think she's probably my favourite. One of them, which is
Monique Bingham.
So Scott Wozniak, Monique Bingham. Why did you choose Scott? Because you just said why, but what is it? What era do you think he was better at? This era here, or what? There's the new stuff he started doing.
Definitely for me, this era. But I can't really comment on newer stuff in a sense of. I don't even know what Scott's doing now. In a sense, I don't hear current music from him personally. Not to say that I've been looking, but I don't hear current music. It would more come to my gate before. But obviously this time, this era, for me, it was just, he was just doing what he done, and I couldn't floor what he was doing. He was doing so much. He played the keys he was playing and stuff he was doing on his tracks, his production, and from start to finish, it was, you know, it was like a movie.
Okay.
For me.
Right. So just introduce this one and let us know what this is.
So this one is a studio apartment featuring the legendary Monique Bingham. Track entitled Flight.
Yeah.
Scott Wozniak, hailing from Brooklyn, New York.
That's right, man.
On the remix.
BK to the fullest, this one. Sounds of My Side Radio. Me Side Says taking care of things. Kalica Roach Rider in the house, also known under the
Sunshine Music for Sunshine People.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that after the break. That had a Sunshine Music for Sunshine People vibe to it, that last track.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
100%, I agree.
That kind of like chord.
It's sunny.
Yeah, that's it.
It's happy, it's smiley, it's warm.
That's it, man. That's what it's all about. Like I said, we're going to talk about that. Let's let the music play for a little bit. We've got about a few more minutes till we go back into the ad break. Don't forget My Soul Radio live and direct. Me Sai Says. Out to anybody who's listening again, listening back. Can't forget you, Eva, all the regular listeners. More love to each and every one of you. Right, just quickly, what's this one in a nutshell? Bam, let's go.
All right, this one. So again, introduce you to the producer, Scott Wozniak. This one, for me, I'll give you the title quickly, is Fish Go Deep featuring Tracy K, The Cure and The Course, but it's not the Dennis Ferrer mix, it's the Scott Wozniak mix.
Okay. Big. My Soul Radio. Me, Sai says once again in the house. In the house of Kalica. I'm not doing it, just let me get through it, all right? I'll do it, all right?
Cool.
So, in the house of my friend Roach. See, he's done it again. No, basically, tell us a little bit more, before we hear this, another Scott, wasn't that one?
Yep.
We had the just remind us.
So the one we just had before, the first one was Money Bingham Flight.
That is a banger still.
Yeah,
I need 100%. To bring that back out.
100%. That's one of my all-time favourite tracks. Second one in was Fish Go Deep featuring Tracy K, Kieran, of course. The reason I played that, a few reasons, but one is because obviously the original version, well, they're not the original, but the version of that record that gets hammered and probably got adopted by other music genres was the Dennis Ferrer remix.
Sure.
And years ago, I used to rotate that Scott Wozniak remix hard, and everyone was like, what's that mix? And I didn't like telling them because I hated the other mix, no disrespect. It just wasn't for me because it got kind of cross. It got cross genred, so
that's not a very sunshine music for sunshine people.
It wasn't. More to the point, it became an unsunshine music for sunshine people record.
Not that I disliked it. I'll tell you a story about that track.
I never disliked it.
I had that record and I mean on record vinyl, the Kieran and Cause of Dennis mix, like from early. I'm not saying I was the first person to have it, but I had it from early, and I was playing. Obviously not as known as I am now, as busy as I am or whatever, as established. And I was doing some sort of like morning parties sometimes in places, and I used to play that, and it never used to catch on really. And then I was playing the vinyl of it, and then one morning I played it, and I was in a club that was in Vauxhall. Remind me of it. There's a MI5 building.
Coliseum?
No, there's a MI5 building. Opposite that, there's a petrol station. There was a right. You think it used to be Channel Club, then it changed to something else.
I know.
Used to do a lot of morning parties in there. People like Lady T and that. And I used to play it there all the time, and I'd be thinking, this is a bang. And then one morning, I just saw the whole club in there, and mainly girls, right, singing to it. And I'm like, what the hell? What's happened here? And then literally from that night, wherever I'd play that track, it was just... everyone would be singing along to it, and then shortly after that I put it down because I'm like that. I'm thinking when everything's getting caned, I'll just put it down.
For me, it became like it wasn't even a house record anymore. It crossed over so much to, like UK garage parties and club nights and raves, etc. And now, like to this day now, that mix, Dennis Ferrer mix, gets played probably more by UK garage heads, so to speak.
Well, but it's mad because I get it requested. I don't know if I can tell a couple of these stories, but one of the story is I got requested it by a famous footballer, and his at the time I was playing in the West End, one of them clubs, and they were requesting it, and they were calling it "Don't Take My Love Away."
Okay,
right, and I was like, I ain't got that, man. I was like, look, you're late on that, mate. I was playing that. I had done played that like 2 years ago, and from then it was like, then the club manager comes to me and said, oh, listen, you need to play.
You have to play
so and so track, and I'm like, listen, mate, I haven't. One, I ain't got it with me, and two, I'm not a jukebox. Don't just come up and tell me. And it was the last time I played there. Safe to say, but that record became almost like, if you listen to it with fresh ears and that, and you listen to it again, it's amazingly produced, great vocal.
Of course, that's undeniable. It became one of them overplayed records for me. But on the flip side of it, this particular mix, quickly, I was Southport Weekender. It was a Saturday afternoon. We was chalet party and whatnot, and I was playing this record, and someone come and tap me on the shoulder. It was a dinky little blonde girl. She goes, "Hey, excuse me." No, when I say dinky, she was dinky, right? She said, "Excuse me." She said, "Excuse me." I said, "Yeah." She said, "That's my song." I said, "What?" I looked around, and bearing in mind, I knew she was on the line. I knew she was on the lineup that weekend anyway. She goes, "That's my song." I looked at her and I said, "Okay." She said, "Yeah, I sing this. I'm Tracy." I said, "Tracy." She said, "Yeah, Tracy K."
What was she doing in a chalet party at 7, 8
She was enjoying the vibes.
Brilliant.
Yeah, she was enjoying the vibes. So anyway,
top of the morning to you.
Yeah, she tapped me on the shoulder, says, "It's my track." Spoke to her for a brief second or so. She partied in the chalet for a little while.
They're actually from where my dad's from in Ireland, a place called Cork.
There you go.
So I've done that silly little accent then. Don't think I'm taking a mick. I'm actually Irish.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm half Sri Lankan like you, and I'm half Irish. So I know they came from Cork. That's interesting.
And
story.
so she's partied in the chalet for a little while, and then she left.
Yeah.
About 4 or 5 hours later, she came back because she left her hoodie in the chalet, and at this time it was about 5, 6 in the afternoon. It's died down a bit.
Yeah.
She's come and sat in the chalet, sit there chatting with me and one of my chalet mates for about 2 hours, just reasoning and being a normal human being. She's a vocalist. At that time she had a really big record, but she was a dinky little blonde Irish girl who just had a kind heart kind of thing, and
I just love their name, Fish Go Deep. I think it's amazing. The record's obviously called The Cure and the Cause, that's what it's called, but over the years I'd get so much people requesting this song to me and be like, yo, have you, and it was mostly girls, and they'd be like, women, females, they'd be like, have you got Don't Take My Love Away? Yeah. Like, what does everyone think? But obviously that's, you know,
it's the
part of it. Right, moving into this one, Scott Wozniak once again, it's the last one. And can you just tell us, before we go in, let's let it play, tell us after a little bit about Scott, alright, where he hails from, blah, blah, blah. Let us know what this one is.
This one is Scott Wozniak featuring Ambrosia on vocals, track entitled Now I Know. Pick this one because I used to give this one super heavy rotation.
When I realized how much time it took to get me to this place, I just think of...
Right, there we had it. So thank you for choosing Scott Wozniak.
You're welcome.
Just
You're
tell
welcome.
us a little bit about him though before we go. Where's he hail from?
He hails from Brooklyn, New York.
Yep.
And you know, he's since about 1986 he's been a sessional keyboard player.
86 he's been at it for. Wow.
Yeah, since about 1986 he's been a sessional keyboard player. Okay. Obviously he's hailing from Brooklyn, New York. He also tutors, I don't know if he does it currently, but he also spent a reasonable amount of time in New York tutoring young people in the music production. Right. He also does scores for films and music software companies.
Musician.
Yeah, very talented.
You know, if you listen to some of his tracks like we've heard there and some of the things I've got, whether this is remix or original, it was always not just produced really well, the musicianship and the production, but the back end, like the mastering.
Yeah, the whole shebang.
I like his Jill Scott remix, man.
Yeah, whatever. Classic.
He done a lot of like the Ambrosia one he done there, a lot of the R&B, sort of soul R&B artists that flip tracks for the dance floor that worked well. So yeah, big up, touch me now. Big
Scott Wozniak, big up yourself, man.
Yeah, nice selection there. Right, moving into this one now, something, because you're talking about Southport quite a lot, and you know, like we know each other a lot from there, from when we was a little bit younger, doing chalet parties and things like that, getting into trouble and upsetting people and all this, that and the other. But just tell us a little bit about Sunshine Music for Sunshine People. What is it about?
Sunshine Music for Sunshine People. I was thinking about that earlier on when you asked me to come up the other day, and I said to myself, how did I even get to that point? Sunshine Music for Sunshine People, and
or SM4SP.
Yeah, so but basically before Sunshine Music for Sunshine People, like Roach Rider, Mr. Roach Rider was his own entity, and I was DJing and I had regular radio shows, etc., etc. And I never really had I had my DJ name, but I never had a brand. I never had my thing. Yeah. And I was DJing one day. I always had a camera kind of thing with me. But I was DJing one day in the studio doing a radio show. And one of the guys come in the studio, one of the guys that was in the management team, come in the studio and he goes, you play like Sunshine Music. And I said, yeah, Sunshine Music. Yeah, I play Sunshine Music for Sunshine People. And it kind of just stuck from there. Yeah. And then I thought, actually, like music. The kind of music I had...
What was you playing at the time? Was it a Scott Wozniak record?
I was just playing soulful. Like, I don't want to say I just played soulful because it wasn't, but I was playing... For me, when the terminology Sunshine Music for Sunshine People doesn't even orientate around one kind of specific of house, or even it is house orientated, but it's not even one way orientated. But you know, that soulful element, I incorporated Afro. It was just nothing too back end deep electro EDM. That wasn't for me. You know, it just wasn't.
Gabba. No gathering.
Yeah, none of it. There's just, I've never, even when people flirted with it, I never flirted with it.
You've always stuck true to a sound. But we're going to talk about it again in a little bit after the track, but you've evolved Sunshine Music for Sunshine People. Like you say, it's more than a DJ now, it's more than a radio show. Yeah. You've kind of like spread your wings in the last few years where you're known a lot more now on the scene.
100%.
Someone that documents it as, what do we call you? A videographer
this is the funny thing, because what is it? The funny thing about you saying that is, last time when I came up here and you said, I listened back to the show and you said something and it made me think about that, and I thought to myself, well, you know what, like Sunshine Music for Sunshine People, before what it was, like I said, it was, I had my own entity, but it developed into something that was I don't know, it was like you said, my passion. That was what it was. You said something about my film, the things I capture wasn't necessarily through work, it was through passion. So, you know, like that's what kind of brought me over to that side of things. The video, I've always had a camera with me, I always kind of rolled with a camera, but I just wanted to capture things that we all partake in.
And you've done some good highlights that we're going to talk about, some of the festivals and interviews and stuff like that, and some of the behind the scenes stuff. So we're going to talk about that in a little while. No, but I said, while he was on the Southport vibe, just gets me thinking, and that especially that studio apartment record and things like that, and obviously the Cure and the Cause. I remember when they done that live there, and
me too.
The years of like We Are, Lift Your Hands in the Sanctuary, DJ OG and Una and Kerry Chandler, Addicted, and this vibe is, when I heard this record, you might think this, I've heard this before, but you know it's Kerry straight away.
100%. You know it's
something
Kerry.
New on Kerry's label Madhouse Records. C Pen featuring Bluey Robinson, and the track's called I'm Searching. Don't forget where you are hearing it. My Soul Radio, Me Sai Says, and Kalica from Sunshine Music for Sunshine People in the house. That's right, My Soul Radio, Me Sai Says in the house. Little bit of trouble time now. Couple of tracks to reminisce, keep the spirit alive of our dear friend Paul Trouble Anderson. And once again, anyone there was New Year's Eve at the Deep Into Soul warehouse party, raise your hand, man, because if you was there, then you would know the energy that was in the room that night. And you know, some of the DJs like myself, Neil Pearce, playing music that reminded us of Paul and stuff that's timeless to our scene, our culture. And a lot of these records was, you know, Paul played them first. This is one of the tracks that I heard him play first before anybody else, for those that know.
Yo, Paul Trouble Anderson here, and you're listening to my bro, Sai Says. Keep listening, otherwise I'll do ya.
That's right, man. Trouble time right now. Just playing a couple of tracks for the great man, the guy that wrote the book for so many of us, man. I can't, say, sit here all night and go on and on and on if I get emotional and stuff like that. But there's certain records, certain times that will always remind me and other people of the great man. Over on Facebook, I've got to say, one of the hottest places for any of us to be right now is the forum, the Remembering the Legendary Paul Trouble Anderson. That forum there is like, even though Paul's not here anymore, physically, you can bet yourself spiritually that he's still educating people.
Yeah.
So much through that forum. There's like, you're learning about records, and not just house. You're going back to his Crackers days and the 70s.
It's not stopping. It's every day. Like,
it's relentless.
Yeah,
mate,
every day there's new bits, new clips, new songs, new stories. Like, it's not non-stop.
And there's a couple of people, I wish we had turntables in there. This was like, I didn't buy this record here. The last one, by the way, obviously Soul Fusion, We Can Make It, the Underground Network mix. That was Little Louis Vega mixing that. And I saw, an interview with Louis and stuff like that, and he would be like, when they were making records back in the day, like Master at Work, Louis on his own or whoever, if Paul was playing them like at the Loft or wherever, if they were working for him, then they knew to themselves, yo, this one's going to be here, because obviously they're a mile a minute in them days. They're giving them to, like, Paul was like tastemaker, for them sort of people, and hundreds, maybe thousands more.
Yeah, of course.
So that Soul Fusion, We Can Make It. This record now is like, again, I probably bought it maybe a couple of years after it came out. Trouble was the first person I had play this record. I got told about this by some of the elders that I was hanging around with at the time. This was produced by Blaze. Keisha Jenkins on the vocals, going through the motions. Big, heavy record. Trouble Bullet, this is. I don't know if you know it or not, but
I know this one.
I heard this. Like, there's a club you mentioned earlier in Vauxhall. We were asking about the club. By the way, that club I was trying to talk about was called Hidden.
Right? Yeah.
Thank you to Carleen who sent in that.
Thank you, Carleen.
I feel like we should have given you a prize for that, but hey ho. So you mentioned Satellite Club. I started going to Satellite Club like way before the UK garage, because it's kind of known a little bit more in London for that UK garage.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like the mid-90s, there was a club there called we're talking Coliseum now.
Coliseum,
There was a thing called Satellite Club inside Coliseum, and in the main room was like quite hard house. You had people like Craig the Met, Graham Gold, Dave Lambert, all these kind of guys like banging the life out of it. But then in this small little room, there was only like a couple hundred people. That's where I first saw Paul and heard the music that I play now, like mid-90s, heard the garage or whatever. And in that little room, you'd have Bobby and Steve in there, Paul Trouble Anderson, people like Seamus Hadji as well.
Yep.
Who was playing this kind of sound back in the day. And this is where I heard stuff like this, and I'd never heard music like this in a house environment.
Of course.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
So eventually, like, you know, there was no Shazam in them days. There's none of that.
Nothing.
So it took you longer sometimes to find tracks.
Of
and when
course.
you're a little youth like I was then, like 18 years old, 17, it's like you don't go up to DJs, especially when you see people like Trouble at first, because you're like,
Of
wow,
course.
look at this guy, he's at superstar status.
Yeah.
You know, he was ripped and cut. He looked like Apollo Creed from Rocky. His arms and stuff. He's spinning around in a DJ box. So eventually, you know, tracks like this, when you're younger, you hunt them around and you get them. So this one, I tried to play this on New Year's Eve, right? And I have the vinyl of this at home. I tried to play this on New Year's Eve, but something was happening with a WAV that I had. I was getting an error code through the CDJ, which I sometimes get on the odd track. There's a Ron Trent track, Black Magic Woman or something, that doesn't play for me.
Just doesn't have it for you.
That's a madness. But anyway, here we go. Keisha Jenkins going through the motions. This is the Motion Mix, produced by Blaze, Josh Milan and Kevin Hedge, of course. We're talking like 1993 on this one. Still now sounds as fresh as a daisy. Fresh. Kalica, Sunshine Music for Sunshine People. Let's just do this quickly, right? Because me and you are like, we can talk all night. So just tell us what were some of the highlights of you for last year? You've covered now with your video stuff quite
Covering the likes of DJ Spen. I just done a couple about a month or so ago at E1 London. He just brought flavour, brought vibes, and he looked good on camera. He performed well on camera.
Okay.
To the middle of last year.
I know you were heavily involved with some of the Southport Weekend, the festival stuff.
Yeah, obviously House Gospel Choir, Soul to Soul.
I mean, they are those guys. I mean, Soul to Soul, obviously,
Soul to Soul.
Introduction, but the House Gospel Choir, I mean, what they do is pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah,
man?
it's energy, it's just vibes, because they're just singing, they're covering other people's songs, but
they do it.
They're just bringing vibes, they're just bringing fire and vibes.
And that's quite an interesting thing at the moment in where dance music has gone to. You see it with garage, you see it with drum and bass, where they do the kind of orchestral production of it inside the Albert Hall and places like that. So you know, I like it when they put their flip on it. What else? We done an interview last year with Louis Vega.
Yeah, that was last summer at some point, right?
Yeah, how did you find that? What was the feedback like on that?
The feedback was good on that. For me, it was obviously a good experience, and it was nice to capture someone of that caliber and him being so open. And you know, obviously you was there and you was interviewing him, and I was the one that we put it together. But you know, like, just to have Louis on the platform and Louis, you know, giving you such a history of him and his journey. Obviously he was promoting his album at the time, NYC
but he
Disco.
gave us like documentary style.
Yeah, he gave us like,
I remember he said that to me after the show. He's like, hey man, I give you documentary style there if your boy works it there. But he did, he went he went really, you know, we've heard a lot about recently, you know, the foundation for where we come from, my generation, like places like the Loft and that was a little bit before my time. We heard about them parties a lot now recently, but listening to Louis, you hear the kind of New York side of it when they used to do the parties, him and Barbara Tucker and everybody like that. So yeah, it was good to hear stuff. So what are you looking forward to this year? What's on the menu this year?
To be honest with you, what's on the menu this year is something that I'm not willing to disclose at the moment, because I just want to move a bit ninja and stealth and
say no more,
that's
say no more, my learned
what
friend.
Is always on the menu is Sunshine Music for Sunshine People.
That's good,
and that's, you know, you'll get it in your doses, and as we try and build the platform and build what we're doing, then, you know, I'm sure you'll see how the menu develops.
Yeah, and I see that you got your For the Love of the Money
always doesn't leave my wrists. Leave my wrists.
Respect, definitely. So yeah, we've also got some stuff in the pipeline as well, so we're going to look out for. We're going to try and do some of the shows in a live format and stuff like that. Right, so you picked the introducer to the producer earlier in the show. That was Scott Wozniak. Yep, dope, man. I loved it. I feel like I've got to draw back out that Monique Bingham record now. So
I think you should.
Definitely. So you selected a classic track. Let us know what this one is.
This one is a classic track, and you earlier said something about that defies Sunshine Music for Sunshine People. This doesn't have any vocals, just an instrumental track. But it was a classic for me, and I always try to play it at kind of not so much big clubs, but more smaller bar environments, and you know, just a nice warm up record. Track entitled Carib's Leap.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, it's one of the frustrating thing sometimes when you do radio. You have to stick to timelines.
You have to stick to time.
Mickey D's coming up. We've got 40 seconds of counting. I hate to pull down Michael's Watford record, let alone talk over it. That's the infamous Michael's prayer there in the background. I never trouble Bullet, that one, man.
Bullet.
We're just talking about that, but we haven't got enough time. So thank you for joining me.
You're welcome, more than welcome, anytime.
You won't disclose what you're doing next, but let us know where we can follow you. Tell us about the YouTube
Just follow
channel.
Oh.
me. If you Google me, SM4SP. Google me. I've done it myself. It works. SM4SP. Sunshine Music for Sunshine People.
like
Google
it.
me, and you can clock into all my stuff.
Okay, brilliant. And I've got 5 seconds. I just want to ask you a question. Was my idea of telling you to use Instagram the best thing you've ever done?
One of the best things I've ever done.
Brilliant, man. Mickey D up after this is My Soul Radio.
My Soul.